This is the Gorge's podcast, where my friend Sarah and I gorge ourselves on what's happening in the world of video games and entertainment.
The Gorge is brought to you by Patreon. That's patreon.com/thegorge, where for just $5 a month you gain access to not one, but two entire podcasts. $5 gets you takeout, a monthly commentary track where Ben and I decide we don't feel like playing something, so we talk over it instead. And $2 just gets you a bunch of shit. I'm done trying to think of a good way to promote it. The $2 tier just gets you a bunch of shit. Okay.
Whatever the four of us feel like doing in that month. Mm-hmm. It used to be that's how you walk into, but then I ran out of questions because I progressed far enough into Fate that I was like, oh, I know all this stuff now.
Right.
And then we were going to do Praetorian Pals. We realized MSQ broke immediately after.
Right.
And they made MSQ really short, so that didn't work out as well anymore.
So you just get a bunch of stuff. You just kind of get any bonus content that we do. Yeah. You get it. Except for the takeout stuff. Everything else. Everything else is under the $2 umbrella. It's a little inconsistent, but it's $2 a month. You get what you pay for.
Yeah, you get free. Not free, but you get bonus material. You just get a ton of cool stuff.
You get cool stuff. That's all it boils down to for $2. It's a great bargain. So, except for the inconsistency part, but you're welcome. Anyways, that's patreon.com/thegorge.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, what have you been up to this past week or so?
Mostly the big thing is that Lost Belt 6 came out, so I am picking through that very slowly. But Lost Belt 6 came out, FGO anniversary happened, so I've been back in FGO extremely hard. GSSR happened. I did okay. Mm-hmm. I got a NP2 Van Gogh, so I'm happy.
I got Sherlock.
Oh, Sherlock is a good one. That's a good choice. Yeah, he's good.
I also got Moriarty.
Did you? In the same role?
Yeah, not in the same role, but in the same day.
Wow.
Where everything was popping off.
Good for you.
It was one of those things where I was I usually just I kind of when I'm not actively playing, mm-hmm. I just kind of during my morning meeting at work, I just kind of tap to get my login bonus.
Sure.
And be all right, done. And I don't have to think about it anymore. But on that day where I was oh yeah, it's a GSSR roll. It's I can get all my free stuff. So I did that early in the morning. And I was well, I got a bunch of embers. I might as well try leveling everyone. I'm
mm-hmm.
I'm getting a lot of supers and greats. That's weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's because it was broken.
and then when I had run out of embers, they were oh yeah, maintenance is happening. You weren't supposed to do that.
You weren't supposed to. Yeah, so if you didn't hear, this is a little baby news thing right now. So around GSSR, because everybody's getting a ton of new servants and the anniversary servant is happening, right? They increase the chance of super and great success on leveling your servants. It's supposed to be by 3 times, right? So you have 3 times the chance of getting a super or great success. Something went wrong, and it ended up being 20 times the chance for super and great success. It was a lot. I don't know if it was exactly 20, but it was a lot.
Which the thing is,
mm-hmm.
even 3 times, you're still gonna get it pretty often.
You're gonna get it pretty dang often.
They are at to the point where if I have a bunch of embers,
mm-hmm.
I will only go halfway up the 10. I'll only level 5 because the odds of me getting a super or great are pretty high, and I don't want to burn through embers I don't need to.
Exactly, I do that all the time. I usually level in batches of 10 because I might get a super or great success. But yeah, no, it was really funny. This has been an extremely broken anniversary on NA's side. There was a glitch where if you had, and I don't know the exact details, but the way I think it worked out is if you had done all of the rank ups and interludes, and I think even all the free quests, right? If you had done mm-hmm. all of those or all of one of those, right? And then you claimed like you get 10 Saint Quartz for every 10 like rank ups you do, or every 10 free quests you do, right? So basically the way it worked out is that if you claimed that gift and then went back and did another one, it would just reset it. So there are people just getting like free Saint Quartz hand over fist. They fixed that one really fast and took away all those Saint Quartz.
I bet.
Yeah, there are a ton of people who just lost a bunch of Saint Quartz, which, like, that sucks. I get it. I wish I could have done it. I didn't. I wasn't. My account was not in the place for that.
Would they have taken away anything you rolled with those Saint Quartz?
I don't know. I don't know
if they could do that.
Can. But they definitely. But I mean, like, they definitely took away your Saint Quartz, and I assume. I don't know. Would you pay in like negative Saint Quartz if you just like immediately spent all of those quartz? Like, let's say you get 50 extra Saint Quartz thanks to a glitch, and you immediately go spend all of them on rolls, and then maintenance happens, and they're like, "We're taking away those Saint Quartz."
Would they? I wonder if they would just like roll back the numbers,
maybe
to where they were before
the glitch
happened, right?
I don't know.
Like, because I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can track like individual Saint Quartz.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I have no idea. Is what I'm trying to make. Anyways, it's been a very broken anniversary this year. It's fine. I somehow got NP3 Koyanskaya. I wasn't even trying for her that hard, but I literally got 2 of them in the same role, and then they introduced this new thing where you can spend 1 paid Saint Quartz a day to do a roll, right? So instead of having to spend 3 quartz, you can just do 1 and you'll do a roll. And I was like, I wonder what that's like. I want to just test it out, right? I want to see what the UI looks like after you've completed it, just out of curious experimentation. And I got another one. So so I have an MP3 Koyanskaya now for some godforsaken reason. Oops.
Not bad.
Not bad. So, yeah. And obviously Lost Belt 6 came out a while ago, but now that Oberon is out at first of next week, I need to actually finish reading Lost Belt 6 so I can properly roll for my horrible boy. Because I really, really like Oberon so far in Lost Belt 6. We were talking about it in the Discord, which you should join if you're not a member of. And it was like, why does Lost Belt 6 feels like Hell of the Abyss? And there's a lot of reasons. But the primary one is that Oberon is just a Jade. Like, right, yes. It's just a Jade. Those are the same character. Congratulations. So yeah, I enjoy what I've read of Lost Belt 6 so far. It's extremely funny. Camelot-themed story chapters are now 2.0 on giving MASH an actual personality instead of just kind of being like your nice Kohai, which is nice. I love that for her. So, yeah, Lost Belt 6 kicks ass. I am enjoying. Everybody sucks in it, but like in a really endearing way.
So like Abyss.
Yeah, like Abyss, exactly. Like everybody sucks, and it's a lot of fun. Muramasa is there. Muramasa is the best part of FGO, or at least one of the best parts of FGO, because, like, what if Shiro Emiya looked like himself, but acted like a grouchy old man? Is like,
you can't go wrong.
Peak concept, right? Extreme, literally the joke never gets old to me. Because he literally acts like a grandpa the whole time. Like, he'll talk about, like, when he talks to other, like, young, pretty servant, like, girl servants, right? He's like, oh, you remind me of my granddaughter. And I'm like, this is the best joke ever. I'm sorry. This is the best joke ever. Every single time. Keep it rolling. So Muramasa is a major character. Castoria is a major character. The gang's all here. It's great, is what I'm saying. So yeah, you should continue reading through FGO so you can get to Lost Belt 6, which is quite good. The only problem with Lost Belt 6, and this is a weird problem, is that because, like, NA knows what's going to happen 2 years in advance. The thing is, it's a bit of a dry spell in terms of good plot stuff for 2 years after this. Like, Tunguska is not good by all accounts. I think the next Guda Guda event is really good. But Tunguska is not good. Traum is apparently okay to good, depending on, like, your personal tastes, which means I'm probably gonna like it because it has Moriarty in it. Mm-hmm. And then, like, apparently Lost Belt 7 was fine to good, but, like, not as transformatively insane as Lost Belt 6 was. Like, it's fine. It's a Lost Belt. It's a good story. It's an adventure story. There's dinosaurs in it.
Mm-hmm. You can't go wrong with that.
Can't go wrong with dinosaurs. So, you know, it's toss-up is what I'm saying. But I do know that the arcade event is really good, and I haven't heard anything bad about Ordeal Call. So, it's like, okay, well, have fun waiting 2 years, asshole.
Yeah.
Okay, I will. Thanks. I guess I'll just kill myself now. Yeah. But anyways, Lost Belt 6 is extremely good. Oberon, it's next week. That's been kinda it. I've been busy. I've been having a social life and stuff. You know how it is. Folks, I have a lot to do. So, but yeah, no. Oh, I didn't tell you. I saw Gareth Reynolds in person.
Really?
Yeah, he did a show in Alabama.
Nice.
And that's who I went to see on Sunday. He was good. It was very funny. Cool. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I would love to see another live dollop, because at least at a live dollop, the podcast doesn't start with 20 minutes of ads. I know we can't judge too much because our podcast starts with an ad. However, it's an ad for our Patreon, and it's 2 minutes long. Yeah, no,
I think by them being stand-up comedians, they're just naturally better on stage anyway than they are, like, actually recording an episode. So.
Oh yeah, they're really funny live. We actually saw them live.
Yeah, it was so good.
If you go listen to the dollop episode about Henry Ford's bodyguard, that's the episode we saw live, and it's extremely funny.
Which
10 out of 10.
Also an absolutely insane fucking piece of history.
Exactly.
Henry Ford is a monster.
Henry Ford was one of history's greatest monsters, and the people who he employed in order to, like, union break were also monsters, you know? Yeah. So, it's good. You should go listen to it. But only until you listen to this podcast. Anyways, that's all I got, so.
Okay. I've also been extremely busy with, house stuff. You're
putting a bathroom in your basement.
Yeah, we are making massive progress in the basement.
Mazel tov.
And just, so, my therapist has diagnosed me with, summer is my, social battery month. Season.
Oh.
So, like, I tend to want to prefer to hang out with people and
that makes sense.
Have parties and stuff during the summer. And in the winter is when I kind of, like, go inside and, like, play a bit more video games and stuff.
That's correct. You're a bear. And you live in the frozen north. You have to. In the summer, you're getting ready for winter, right? Mm-hmm. And then in the winter, you hibernate. You know? Yeah. I get it.
And then I was like, yeah, that actually doesn't make a lot of sense, because I'm, like, kind of, like, trying to force myself to play games, and I'm like, I want to hang out with my friends instead.
That's
and
fair.
I'm like, oh yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. So I have done some stuff.
Sure.
I've been playing more for 16. I got to the part in 16 where it turns into a Final Fantasy game.
Yay! I'm excited.
And I was like, oh, there it is. There's the Final Fantasy.
Is there a game that has been more poorly marketed in recent years? No, it's Deathloop. I'm sorry. I was going to say, is there a game that's been more poorly marketed? It's Deathloop. But Final Fantasy 16 is pretty high up there, I would say.
It's really, really high up there. I do have some issues with 16 in general.
Sure.
But that's podcast content, so I don't want to dive too far into it.
Sure.
So I will just say that Clive is shaping out to be probably the best Final Fantasy protagonist ever.
That makes sense. He's beautiful.
He's really, really good, and I'm like, is Clive really the best? And I'm thinking about it, I'm like, Final Fantasy doesn't have good protagonists.
Yeah.
Like, it's got Cloud.
And Cloud really benefits from, like, So FF7 has Final Fantasy XIV syndrome, right? Where
Right.
it is, it has a lot of good depth by virtue of being very long.
Yes.
Like Final Fantasy XIV, we always say like it's kind of the best one by default because like it's technically like 6 Final Fantasy games crammed into one another, right? 7 has the same thing where it is Final Fantasy 7 and also all of the Final Fantasy 7 adjacent stuff.
Cloud gets to be the best protagonist because we've seen the most of him at different eras in his life.
Right. And so we can he has like an extremely well-charted arc of characterization, right? And it's like, oh, okay, I see. But I mean, like, other than that, like, I don't, like, stand out. I haven't played 6. I don't know.
And 6,
everybody loves 6 so much.
Everyone loves 6, but
6 is like an ensemble story, right?
Terra, Locke, and Celeste combined are good characters, but by the nature of how 6 is designed, you can't really have a character that has, like, a significant amount of depth. Because they all have to be kind of like somewhat generic to fit into whoever your party composition is at the time.
Yeah.
And then you think about like, and there's nothing wrong with the other ones like Squall, Zidane, Tidus, you know, etc. All them. They're fine.
Yeah.
But none of them really stand out to me in the same way that like a Tales protagonist does, or even like a Persona protagonist does.
Sure. Yeah, which is interesting considering Persona protagonists don't speak, but they're so like front and center, I guess. Yeah. It's weird. Final Fantasy games are very strange beasts. But like, yeah, I would say Cloud is like one of the best ones. I haven't played 16, so I couldn't say.
Yeah.
Zidane is really good, just again by virtue of being very charming.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if there are any other Final Fantasy protagonists who I would rate as being exceptional. Like the best character in 12, the best characters in 12 are Balthier and Ash.
Yeah. The thing is, like, it's like, if someone said Clive is the best Final Fantasy character, I'd be like, no, that's foolish. There's tons of other ones. But like,
incorrect.
But like,
protagonist.
It's like, actually, Final Fantasy has kind of weak protagonists compared to the other characters.
That's true. Interesting.
Yeah.
See, I know that Chris Wolfhart on Twitter, aka one of the Gigaboots, is going through 13 right now, right? Yeah. And I'm like, maybe I should give 13 a shot finally. Just to see.
Just to learn.
Just to learn. It's so cheap these days. You can get 13 for a song. So maybe someday after I play 16, maybe I'll actually do 13 as well.
But no, it's shaping up to be good, despite certain parts of it. That it's like I'll play it and have a really great time playing it.
Sure.
And then come away from it being like, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. That was I'm not sure I like that.
Right.
I'm not sure if this is the right choice to make for this game.
You're very conflicted about the video game.
And then I'll play it and I'll be like, I'm having so much fun. It's so fast. It feels so good.
It's just revengeance is the thing. It's just revengeance. So I don't know. Who's to say if it's good or bad?
I'll find out soon enough. But speaking of fate things that remind us of other things.
Oh.
We did watch Strange Fake.
We did watch the pilot of
the
Strange
OVA?
Fake, the OVA.
There's something.
It's getting an actual anime, but like who knows when. But we did watch the first episode of Strange Fake. Strange Fake is good as fuck.
If I didn't know it was by the writer of Bacano,
I would know that it's by the wrer of Bacano.
I would have known immediately when you meet the guy who's just a bizarre combination of lad and jacuzzi.
Yes, exactly. Like, what extremely strong opening for a Fate anime. Yeah. Like, very, very good. It's kind of like so Fate Zero, we talked about it before. Fate Zero has an infamously kind of bad first episode, because it's a lot, it's literally, for at least the first 10 minutes, it's two people walking in a circle explaining the lore to like get you caught up. This kind of starts the same way with like a guy explaining the lore, and then the U.S. Army shows up. I
love Strange Fake for being like, yeah, of course the American Holy Grail War is going to be completely unhinged.
It's going to be extremely fucked up from the word go. Like, the CIA is here. A random British twink has showed up and has god tier mage powers, but is, an unhinged British twink. So, a complete wild card. He is insisting he's going to befriend all of the servants, which, like, good luck, buddy.
Yeah.
Just, like, a fantastic first episode. They do the insane thing of summoning Gilgamesh and Enkidu to the same Grail War, and that goes about as well as you would expect, which is to say, the most romantic scene that's ever been put in a Fate anything. Wherein two people fight each other, and it is charged with so much like
it's
raw it's fight fucking. It's charged with so much raw homoeroticism that I can barely like look directly at it sometimes. It's wonderful. I loved every second of it.
Yeah.
Please tell me when the anime is coming out now. Thank you.
It is based on that first episode. It is already my favorite Fate series.
It's so good.
Easily.
It's so good. I wouldn't call it my favorite because, I mean, Heavensfield movies are right there. But, like, it is quite strong, I will say. The animation style is really cool. It's this kind of very sketchy, kind of dreamy look. Like, the whole show has a really unique look to it that I really appreciate. It's by Cloverworks. The guys who did, not Cloverworks, A1 Pictures, excuse me. It's by A1 Pictures, the guys who did Babylonia. Babylonia looked great. This is just an evolution of what they were doing with Babylonia. Yeah, I'm really happy with this first episode. Like, a lot.
Yeah. We are doing this raunchy bootleg,
like, fucked up Holy Grail War in the United States. It rules.
I saw Bob Video Games describe it as a Ponzi scheme.
Yes.
Of a Grail War.
Yeah, it rules. Yeah, I'm really thrilled with it, and I would just like more. I would like for them to tell me now when the rest of the show is coming out, please and thank you.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's nice to have something that can kind of scratch the itch of Bacano.
Mm-hmm. Because we're going to have season 2 fucking never with that one.
We're just going to have to pretend that this is in the same universe as Bacano.
Listen, Isaac and Miria could still show up.
They could. They could very easily just show up in Vegas at some point.
Oh, yeah, and just, like, hang out and be like, I say, Miria, there seems to be these spectral entities hanging around Las Vegas. You know?
Perfect. What else did I do? Speaking of pilots, I got to watch first episodes of My Adventures of Superman.
Oh, I hadn't gotten around to that yet. Do you love it?
It's peak.
It's peak.
It's fucking good.
It's peak fiction.
It's really fucking good.
Yeah, it looks really fucking good.
They did turn Superman into a magical girl and turn Jor-El into Big Boss.
That's explicit. That's text, explicit, by the way.
Yeah.
The people making My Adventures with Superman were like, yeah, no, we wanted him to look like Big Boss.
We made him look like Big Boss.
We just made him look like Big Boss. Which is, like, the funniest possible, like, way to do that, right?
Red on Twitter was just like, yeah, all Jor-Els going forward need to be Big Boss now.
Yeah, like, I agree.
Sorry, this is a cultural reset.
They unlocked, like, the best permutation of that character. Good for them.
Mm-hmm. But no, it's fantastically well written. The characters are great. Lois and Clark are adorable together.
Sure, of course.
It's got one of the best Deathstrokes, which isn't hard because I don't think Deathstroke is very good.
Yeah, that's a low goalpost.
Sorry, I don't like to root for pedophiles.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. And this one is Twink Deathstroke, which is
the thing that for some reason I mean this in a positive because it's a bullet dodged. But someone on Twitter said that Slade Wilson in this show looks like if this came out 10 years ago, he'd be voiced by Vic Mignogna.
Yeah, no, I totally get it though. Like, what an incredible bullet dodge, because he does. He does look like he'd be voiced by Vic Mignogna, whatever. I don't know how to say his
He really does, but like his character is so good in this one because he's just kind of like a swashbuckling asshole.
I love that. Good.
And it's kind of implied that he's working for Task Force X.
Okay.
With Amanda Waller.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And so it's like, oh good, she's still being awful.
I'm glad she's still around to be awful and stick her nose into this fun romantic comedy anime about Clark and Lois.
I also think it's hilarious that Superman is voiced by Jack Quaid in this, who is Little Huey in The Boys. And I just have to wonder if there's any kind of like mental whiplash,
right?
While he's doing both of these shows at the same time.
Oh, sure, for sure. It's just like, oh no, I really have to like reorient my brain to be like a good superhero instead of a bad one.
I gotta switch mindsets to be like in the most wholesome iteration of Superman that's ever existed.
Good for him.
Yeah, no, there's gotta be some catharsis to it too.
There has to be a little bit of relief, right? To just get to be. Now, of course, you realize that this means we need Jack Quaid to play Sephiroth at some point.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh my, he'd be really good at it.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, he'd be really good at it. That's how it has to be, because Tyler Hoechlin is Sephiroth, and he played a Superman, and of course George Newbern is the best Sephiroth who ever lived.
Yeah,
you know.
Maybe like if they could get like young Sephiroth, like in the remake.
Yes, or like and have him voiced by Jack Quaid. Yeah,
like or in Ever Crisis.
Mm-hmm. That's how you do it.
You're welcome. Perfect.
It would be perfect.
Yeah. They should definitely do
that. You can have that one for free. In fact, I'm giving you that one for free. You don't have to pay me royalties for my extremely good ideas this time.
That'd be hilarious, actually. He's in Spider-Verse.
Is he? Who's he play?
He plays Gwen's Peter.
Oh, cute! Wow, he's just doing superheroes all over the place, huh?
He's just hopping all over.
You know what? Live your dream. If you want to be Spider-Man and Superman, go ahead.
Good for you. Let's see. Is there anything? I started my rewatch of Red vs. Blue because that's in the news.
Oh, right. We're getting another one of those.
Yeah. Because Red vs. Blue is formative to my sense of humor. Mm-hmm. So I gotta see how it ends, especially because Bernie Burns is actually coming back to write it.
Right, okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, so I'm like, alright, well, let's see how much of this I actually remember.
You know what? The first couple seasons of Red vs. Blue, I'm willing to say, still good.
They're pretty good. Their quality is obviously in the garbage, but...
Oh, sure, but that doesn't matter.
There's still some funny bits in there. It is funny watching the first season when they had really not at all established the characters at all.
Oh, yeah.
Like Caboose in the first 3 episodes is not an idiot.
No!
And it's like really jarring.
It's like, oh, right. They really just added that after the post facto, if you will.
Like, Donut used to be the stupid one.
Right.
And then that just kind of shifted over to Caboose. And like Matt Hullum had not at all figured out what his Sarge voice was going to be.
Right.
Like, he just kind of sounds a kind of like a pirate in the first season.
Pirate Arlie Ermy.
And he hadn't quite figured out how to do Drill Sergeant.
Mm-hmm.
It took him a while to get there. And also, everyone's mic quality is obviously in the garbage, and on top of the radio filter they put over all the characters.
Oh, sure, of course.
Yeah.
Can you believe they sold the first season of that show on DVD? The first couple seasons of that show, even though it was just like the quality was so bad. You used to be able to buy that shit at GameStop.
You could. They were on Netflix for a while.
Yeah, they were fancy.
And these were before YouTube. This is 2004.
Mm-hmm. Oh god, don't remind me. We're so fucking old. Whatever.
I know. Red vs. Blue is going to be 20 years old.
I hate that you've just told me this information. Like, I could have gone the rest of my life without knowing how long it's been since I first watched Red vs. Blue. You know?
Mm-hmm. But this is what we have to live with this.
Mm-hmm. I have to deal with the fact that I'm rotting as we speak.
Kind of like Church's body.
Oh, nice. Brought it back around.
They also had not figured out that part of it yet, because they talk a lot about how Church is like a legitimate ghost, and like his corpse is rotting.
You know, listen. Writing is hard.
Right? You know, one of the writing things that I kind of took to heart from Red vs. Blue, from the writers, they did like an interview at some point where they're talking about like their writing process, and they're like, we will suspend canon if the joke is funny enough.
That's what I'm always saying. Listen, you can do anything if it's funny.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. You can break the rules of your own lore if it's funny.
If it's funny, that's the most important part. It has to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is funny can be very dangerous.
Yeah, it's very subjective.
You gotta really hope you got a winner here. Otherwise, you're in trouble.
Yeah. But,
however,
if you can pull it off.
If you got it, then baby, you got it.
And I didn't put it on the docket, but we finally did see those photos of Hugh Jackman in the Wolverine costume.
Yes.
And I'm like, yes, you can throw the ending of Logan in the garbage if it's funny enough.
If it's funny enough. We'll see. I don't know about how my expectations of comedy from a Deadpool movie written during a writer's strike are low, quite low. The bar is in hell as it stands, and I don't think they're going to clear it. But we'll see.
But we will see. Listen,
by God, we're gonna see.
If SAG-AFTRA goes on strike too, then it doesn't matter because production is going to shut down anyway. So
the whole movie, you know what? Like,
they'll have all.
We're supposed to know that by today. We're supposed to know that at some point today. I thought.
Ooh.
Because today's Wednesday, right?
Yeah, maybe it'll happen while we're recording. That would be.
I will keep an eye on the Discord because that's the kind of shit that always gets posted in the Discord. We love talking about labor relations in the Discord. I know that doesn't sound interesting, but it is.
Yeah. But that's about it. I didn't really. Okay. I've been. FF14 has been taking up most of my time, and I'm like, I really should be playing like Tears of the Kingdom or 16 right now. Like I need to stop spending my afternoons off like playing 14 because like that's not going anywhere.
Listen, that's not going anywhere, and there isn't going to be any more plot for like another 2 months. So,
but I'm like,
although you know what is in like 10 days, maybe 15 days, something like that. FanFest.
So we're gonna learn something, but we're not gonna get anything.
We're not gonna get anything, but we're gonna learn something, which is fun. And I'm looking forward to it.
And like, the clock is ticking on Tears of the Kingdom in 16.
Yes.
Because Starfield's in less than 2 months.
Starfield is less than 2 months, folks. We're in trouble. Starfield is less than 2 fucking months away.
I messaged Sara today and I was like, it's July. Starfield is in less than 2 months. I gotta get this shit done.
I gotta get shit on lock. I gotta get things handled right now before Starfield ruins my life.
I can't have these, 40-plus hour RPG open world games.
Hanging over your head like the Sword of Damocles.
On the burners. I gotta clear these off that I can play Starfield.
That's it. I want to play Starfield as guilt-free as fucking possible. So I'm about to have to just slam through Tears of the Kingdom and fucking FF16 as fast as I can.
We got a message, Oates and Saturn, after this to be like, Hey, when are we doing Tears of the Kingdom? I need a deadline for this project.
I need a deadline to make me actually do the job. Yeah. That's a good point.
But yeah, that's about it.
That's it.
So let's get to the news.
Tell me some news.
Disney deletes streaming movie that only released in May.
What movie?
A movie called Crater.
I've never heard
That
of it.
was on Disney Plus.
You know, I've never heard of it, but the thing is that, like, they also deleted a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
It's not just Crater. Yeah, it's continuing this horrible mark. But folks, pirate your shit. Learn to pirate and pirate the shit that you like so that when a company decides to take down a thing you like for a marginal tax break, you won't lose access to it forever. Like, that's my advice to you. Pirating is actually not that hard. It's really not. Get yourself, listen, we haven't said this in a while. The Gorge does not endorse the extremely cool crime of piracy. However, if you do want to do the cool crime of piracy, it's very easy.
You will not have a hard time figuring it out.
You will not have a hard time figuring it out. I promise.
Yeah, it's just like, this movie had 7 weeks on Disney Plus.
Wow.
And now it is gone forever.
And now it's gone forever for just a sliver of a tax break.
To save some tax money.
And not even like that much in the grand scheme of things, true.
Yeah, like, I'm sure it can't be that much.
No, God, no.
You don't, this is like the I'm assuming part of the reason why the strike is going on too, is that, like, you're no longer at the risk of just, like, something coming out and not selling. Yeah. You're at the risk of it not selling and then being erased from existence.
And then just being deleted from the internet forever. Yeah. It's not great.
The idea of underperforming has gotten to be so abstract and so bloated.
Yeah.
That, like, you're gonna see things that would have been counted as, like, a success like 10 years ago.
Oh, sure.
Are now counted as underperforming.
You know, it's kind of like, speaking of Square Enix stuff, you remember how, like, Square Enix bought all those Western studios and then expected them to all do Call of Duty numbers and then didn't? It's like that. It's like that. It's like what they did to Deus Ex, is what I'm saying.
Remember how Tomb Raider 2013 was a massive failure because it didn't sell Call of Duty numbers?
It didn't do, like, 20 million units, even though, like, there was no way it was going to.
A Tomb Raider game?
Yeah, no. It's like that. Yeah. Like, 10 years ago, the stuff that they're saying flopped would have been huge. Right? Would have been considered, like, huge.
We're also preemptively severing anything that can be counted as a cult classic.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. That's the point.
These streaming things like Disney, HBO, you know, all this shit. When you ether something like that, you are eliminating the idea of this work of art ever getting a fan base 10 years later.
But I mean, that's the point. Like, that's by design. Like, they, like, literally, the idea is don't rewatch the same thing over and over again, just consume new product. Yeah, right?
Get the new thing.
Get the new thing. It's the fucking Jay Bauman screenshot again. You know, don't think, just consume more product over and over again forever. And yeah, that's like, it's really depressing.
Instead of putting old thing on our thing, we will remake old thing so that it is new thing.
Yeah, but we won't let you get access to old thing.
Just watch new thing that is old thing, but new.
Yeah, it sucks. Like I said, cultural wasteland. Literally the sign of a civilization in decline.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, it just needs more money thrown at it to come out, and you are setting things up to fail in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's just this giant bloat.
It's just a hole that they throw money into, and like they think it, and it's like not sustainable. Like, it's all gonna like totally come crashing down sooner than later, right? Like, it is not at all sustainable.
Like, we're gonna throw $1 billion at this thing that no one has a vested interest in the first place.
Oh, did you hear that Secret Wars is $20 million over budget?
Only 20 million?
No, excuse me, not 20. Sorry, 200 million over budget.
That's better.
Yeah, $200 million over budget, and it's like, oh no.
You're not making that back.
You're not
Are you
making
kidding
that
me?
back.
No.
Especially because nobody wants to watch Secret Wars, right?
No,
people hate the scroll. Even I know people hate scroll arcs in Marvel stuff. Like, it sucks.
It's the fatigue has hit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not. It hit right after Endgame.
Oh yeah.
When everyone stopped caring.
It's when everybody got off the train because they're like, well, like, it's kind of, we were talking about it very briefly on Twitter, how I continue to be vindicated by getting off of the My Hero Academia train at United States of Smash, right? Time has only made me look smarter, because I have nothing but fond memories of my time with Hero Aka, right? I'm like, yeah, I had a great time. I had a wonderful time with, like, this arc about, like, this boy who, like, wants to become a hero and can't, and meets this mentor who he loves but is flawed. And, like, it all culminates in the mentor, like, burning out the last of his strength to give his protege, like, the ability to move forward into the future. And I was like, listen, I have now reached, like, any emotional satisfaction I could gain from Hero Aka, I have now reached. Yep. I'm done. And I continue to be vindicated by that decision. Yeah.
You were so right.
I was so right, folks. I've never been more right.
The final arc of Hero Aka is garbage. I have never been so bored reading a manga.
Sorry, buddy.
It is trash.
And what I'm saying is that everybody else did that with Endgame. Right? Like, even I'm like, yeah, no, and, like I didn't watch or care about Endgame, right, no. But, like, the plot of the MCU was leading toward a final thing, and it happened, and everyone was like, cool, I am very satisfied with the way that the MCU is ending. There's some people who've died, it's very tragic, but, like, we're all gonna move on, and what do you mean they're still making them?
Yeah, like, okay, so we're gonna get a couple of the shows, and then, like, a movie or two here and there, and then... What do you mean it's still going?
It's still going. Nobody cares anymore.
What do you mean that we're trying to set something else up, and you're out of characters that people care about now? Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Because they've all moved on. They're like, I'm done with this MCU shit. Like, especially now that you've wrapped up Guardians, which I heard was good. I haven't seen it yet.
Mm-hmm. Like, especially since you wrapped up Guardians, because that was kind of like the last thing a lot of people were emotionally invested in, right? Like, once that was done, you got nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's done, and no one cares about the Skrulls.
No one cares about Skrulls. Even comics fans don't care about the Skrulls.
I don't care about the Skrulls.
Nobody cares, okay?
They're a fun thing for the Fantastic Four to fight.
Yeah, that's it.
But what it is it's like, hey, this character was a Skrull all along. It's like, okay, well, I don't care anymore because you have just said everything this character has been through for the past 15 years is invalidated and didn't actually count.
Yeah, it's just another way of comics doing the whole kill off a character and then just bring them back, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's the same kind of thing. It's clone arcs. They're all the same thing. It's a way to return to the status quo.
Like someone just got revealed in the MCU, and I don't know who was exactly, so I don't know, but in the show, it's like, this character has been a Skrull for who knows how long. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, well, you have invalidated their character arc from fucking Avengers 2 all the way to Endgame.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it wasn't them. It was a clone.
It's some other asshole. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, great.
Now I don't care even more. You somehow find a way to make me care even less, which is impressive.
It's the kind of retcon that doesn't feel like, oh my god, what a shocking twist. It's like, well, okay, well then everything they've been through has been garbage and doesn't count. And how are you going to reconcile that when the real version comes back? Like, okay, well, cool.
Bye.
Fucking whatever. Great. Thank you. I used to like that character, but I guess I didn't like them because they were a fakey fake.
Yeah, it's just... It's whatever. Whatever.
The point is everything is getting too big, and we need to kill David Zaslav.
Yeah.
Like the fact that like the people underneath him aren't doing that thing from The Last Jedi where Hux sees Kylo Ren like on the ground and he like starts to pull his gun out. He's like, I could end it right now.
Just do it right now. Yeah, it's so true.
Like the people directly underneath Zaslav are like looking up dark web hitmen. Like,
surely at some point, because their money is everywhere.
Yeah.
Surely at some point the House of Sound is going to have something to say about David Zaslav, right?
So you've got to assume,
right? Like. We were talking about how surely the House of Sound has something to say about how Musk is handling Twitter. But the same thing applies to HBO and to Warner Brothers. Like,
yeah.
I know one of those fuckers has got, like, a finger in that pie. And, like, normally I'm not the one to endorse the actions of the House of Sound. However,
I'm not.
If you did want to do something about it, I'm going to be in the other room playing Final Fantasy XIV, and I won't hear anything.
I'm not endorsing it. I'm surprised it's not happening.
That's right.
That's how I feel.
That's where I am too. So, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Next piece of news. We spent a long time on just the first piece of news.
We did. We'll get through these other ones are kind of short. Okay. Nier creator Yoko Taro lost his iconic mask at Anime Expo 2023.
Because he was drinking. He had to wear a fucking... The fight, was it the Fighting Irish, the Notre Dame guy?
Yeah, he's wearing a big Notre Dame leprechaun mask.
It's amazing because he lost the Emil head while drinking.
There's someone in a bar in LA who is the luckiest son of a bitch in the world.
Or they don't realize what they have and they just threw it away. Which is, like, extremely more likely. I'll be real. Now, mind you, LA was crawling with weeaboos at that time, because AX is huge. So there's a non-zero chance someone has it. But it's a 50-50 split. Either somebody has it and they're never getting rid of it, or it's in a trash can somewhere.
I don't think it was lost.
You think someone stole it?
I think someone saw... like a couple of Japanese guys doing shots at a bar. And they saw the Yoko Taro mask. They saw the Emil mask. And they were like, one of these guys is Yoko Taro. I could either ask which one is Yoko Taro. Or I could just take this mask and get the fuck out.
Or I could do the funniest thing possible.
And there was a guy who saw the mask and then looked for a fire exit. And went, I can make that distance.
Yeah.
That's what I think happened.
I agree. I actually like that option way more. It's way funnier.
Because how do you lose it?
It's huge.
It's literally the size of like a beach ball.
It literally covers your whole head, and it's Emil's very, very hard to miss face. You know what I mean?
It's not like you left your credit card like in the little thing.
It's not like you got drunk and left your purse somewhere, my man. Like it's like Ben said, it's a beach ball. How do you walk away without the beach ball?
How drunk was Yoko Taro that he walks out of the bar and he's like, wait a minute. Like putting his hands like around his head, like
on his head, like
something doesn't feel right. Hold on, wait a minute.
Here, yeah.
It's like I left it on the taxi, didn't I?
Somebody is extremely, extremely lucky.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna see it on Reddit at some point. Be like, hey, look what I got.
We're gonna see it on Reddit, or it's gonna be on eBay somewhere.
Yeah. Next, latest Zelda Tears of the Kingdom patch removes duplication glitches. This is a repeating article.
This is Nintendo versus the problem is that Nintendo is just Nintendo, right? Mm-hmm. Nintendo is not a million monkeys slamming away at a million typewriters forever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. They're gonna... Whatever you want to say about Nintendo is that they make quality product.
Sure.
Like, they're gonna make sure the shit works.
They're gonna make sure the shit works. However, more importantly, like, the people on the other side of this conflict want to duplicate those dragon horns way more than Nintendo wants to patch this, right?
They're very determined.
They're very determined. On a long enough time scale, those guys are going to win because Nintendo's got other shit to do.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But these guys, absolutely not. They have literally nothing better to do with their lives. Their entire YouTube channel lives and dies off of Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom content. So, like, no. They will keep hammering away at that typewriter forever.
So there was the first one, which was very simple to do. It was you hold 5 items.
Sure.
Or no, you, what was it? You pick up 5, you select the item you want to duplicate. You do a quick shield hop. Like you're about to shield surf. Hold 5 items. Back out, and Link will drop the 5 items, but they'll still be in his inventory. And it was super easy to do. You could just do it over and over and over and over again. It costs nothing. You would do it on the sand or the snow, so you wouldn't even have shield degradation.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And they patched that one out.
Oh.
The second one required you going to like a specific cave where there was a map transition. And because there was a map transition, if you shot an arrow to where the map transition was, the arrow would stay in, would hit an invisible wall and drop down. So you get like a Lionel bow, like a +5 arrow Lionel bow. And you attach whatever item you want to duplicate to that arrow. And it only costs 1 arrow and 1 item, but it shoots 5 that just drop to the ground and you just go and pick them up. And that was the one they patched out.
Okay.
There's a new one.
Okay.
That is a lot more complicated to go through, and I haven't tried it yet.
Okay.
But it exists.
Do you know how to do it, or is it just like too complicated?
I have not done the steps yet, but there are instructions online for the 1.2 patch. And I just turned off automatic updates on my Switch.
After a certain point, you're like, I'm tired of this arms race. I just want to duplicate my fucking dragon horn.
Yeah. I don't want to have to wait for all that.
I don't want to have to. The problem is that, like, I like Tears of the Kingdom a lot. I think it's insane that farming is such a huge part of the gear grind, right? And it's a lot of sitting and waiting farming as well. And so I'm just like, you know what? Let the item duplicating guys, like, just let them win. Give them this 1 W, you know?
Yeah. Let me just get my armor maxed out, and then I'm good. Like, I don't need to duplicate anymore after that.
Listen, the people playing Tears of the Kingdom are also extremely busy adults. They don't have time to wait for the fucking dragon to come back around again, okay? Give them a break.
So, good luck to everyone finding these, and hope you guys are ready for when Nintendo patches it again.
Hope you find another one.
Yeah. Next, the Switch has its own dollar store Last of Us knockoff.
Excuse me?
So there is a game called The Last Hope that has a trailer released in June. It's called The Last Hope Dead Zone Survival. It's a third-person zombie game. I'm just gonna send you a screenshot of it, and I want to ask you real quick though first. When I say it's a Last of Us ripoff, what do you think that means?
Sad old man, young girl, zombies, overgrown apocalypse.
Okay, that's pretty close.
That's what I think of a Last of Us clone.
Right. So I'm just going to send you a screenshot from the game, and you'll see exactly what it means by Last of Us ripoff.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see. You know, when you said Last of Us ripoff, I didn't think, like, just directly steal Ellie's character model and put it into another video game.
Yeah, no, that's...
that's not, I thought of something a little, slightly more nuanced.
A little bit more,
sure.
Like, maybe you just take, like, her model and you make her hair blonde and, like, you give her a new shirt or something, right? But it's like, you kind of look closer, like, that's just Ellie.
That's literally just Ellie.
No, it's
almost exactly her character model. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's just a low-res version of her character model.
Yeah, that's,
like,
and then I like that the other guy is just, Nico from Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's a bold choice as well. Good for them.
Yeah, I mean, when you're just gonna say, like, it's the Last of Us ripoff, like, yeah, you certainly did rip that off.
You sure as fuck extremely ripped that off. Yep.
You did rip Ellie off of The Last of Us and put her in this game.
You literally ripped the model, actually.
Yeah.
Good for you,
like,
I guess.
I'm pretty sure Naughty Dog can sue you.
Wow. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Good to know.
So there you go.
Great. Fantastic.
Next, Yuji Naka, sentenced to 4 years of probation with 2 million and 170 million yen fines.
That's so bad. Folks, it's so bad.
So the thing about Yuji Naka is that he has to pay these fines. So he's not going to jail yet. Right. He is on probation for 4 years, in which time he has to pay these fines, or he goes to jail. Right. Like, he will be locked up. So
Yuji Naka is going to jail, is what we're saying.
Because he don't got that kind of money.
No,
and he don't have a job no more where he can make that kind of money.
No. Optimistically, Yuji Naka was making, like, the equivalent of maybe $200K a year. Yeah. Like, at the very end of his career before he decided to, explode it. So yeah, my man does not have this kind of money, even a little bit. So yeah, Yuji Naka is eventually going to go to prison for white-collar crimes.
Yeah. So the article I got this from is just kind of going through the whole works of what happened. He pled guilty to it in March of this year. He ended up, these fines are more than the games he did insider trading for ended up making.
Great.
Like, the First Soldier did not make this much money.
Oh no, the First Soldier was dead within 8 months of release. Like, that game probably made negative. Technically, that game probably made negative money considering how much Square Enix spent marketing it. Yeah.
I want to say a quote from this article. It's the last line in this article because it just feels very haunting.
Okay.
Quote, Naka is now currently 57 years old.
Oh, I see.
Ouch.
I see.
That's rough.
Yeah, no, he's 57 years old, and this is going to be something he's going to be dealing with for the rest of his natural life. Good job. Good. You know what you just do in that case? You don't do insider trading.
You just don't.
Step one, don't do that.
You don't do insider trading for the First Soldier.
And also, if you're gonna do it, again, most importantly, don't get caught, idiot.
Don't put your name all over it.
Don't do it so blatantly. The thing is that, like, Yuji Naka basically walked out into the middle of Shinjuku wearing a shirt that said, "Don't ask about my insider trading." Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was that obvious. It's like, no, you gotta make it a little bit more transparent than that, dude. Come on.
Oh, I can't say anything about my client's illegal offshores account. Oh, crap. I shouldn't have said he was a client. Oh, crap. I shouldn't have said it was offshores. Oh, crap. I shouldn't have said it was illegal.
Yeah, it's that, basically. Yeah. Like, what he did was so transparent that, like, who are you? Who are you to do it this transparently? Like, what did you think was going to happen? How did you think this was going to go?
Just embarrassing.
So embarrassing.
Speaking of embarrassing, Street Fighter 6 DLC character Rashid launches July 24th.
Yeah, he's not banned from Evo.
Did you watch his trailer?
No, I hadn't watched it yet.
He's a Twitch streamer now.
Oh no, they did my voice so dirty!
Like his intro and the victory thing are him like setting up his camera and like going live for the stream.
They did my voice so dirty. How could they? Rashid, it's not like this.
It's really cute. Like his victory thing is him doing his whirlwind thing, and he knocks over his camera, and he runs up to pick it up.
Okay, that's actually kind of funny. Okay, but no, he's not banned from Evo.
He's not banned from Evo. He did his voice actor did an in-character promotion for Evo.
Yeah, and it's like he just came out. I'm really looking forward to this one.
The trailer
it's gonna be a shit show.
The trailer is great. He looks fucking amazing, like everything else in Street Fighter.
Oh, sure,
obviously.
Of course.
His taunt is just them showing off cloth physics. I swear. Because it's just him like doing backflips and like spinning and like doing like push-ups and like spinning while doing push-ups. And he's wearing like, he's got like the turban, he's got like
flowing clothes, yeah.
And like they're not folding in on each other or like clipping weird.
Amazing. Good.
Like, you're just showing off.
They're literally just showing off that they have an engine that they made in-house that is black magic, right? They're just like, no, we're the only people who have ever gotten it right, ever.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Our engine continues to be the greatest thing that Capcom has ever made.
It's amazing.
He looks so fun. I love Rashid as a character.
Rashid, what a good character. I'm glad he's the first DLC character. That's what he deserves.
His costume is amazing too.
Yeah, he looks great. Like I've seen his design, he looks great.
Yeah. Next, Cyberpunk 2077 players protest Reddit by posting nudes.
What?
So, the Cyberpunk subreddit switched to not safe for work.
Okay.
Which it wasn't before. It was like after the Reddit blackout.
Sure. And then everybody was forced back open. Like I've seen stuff like that. Like instead of being closed, in lieu of being closed, because like Reddit admins came back and said like we're taking your jobs away, right?
Yeah. So Reddit has demanded that the mods switch it back to safe for work.
Right.
Which the mods in the subreddit are saying this is an M-rated game, 18 plus with full frontal nudity in it.
Right.
So we should be allowed to post that content on the subreddit.
Absolutely.
Like it's a pretty significant part of the game.
Sure. Extremely funny. What a great way to like rules lawyer, right? Yeah,
so they are just posting nudes of their characters that are in game and not modded because you can do that in the game.
Yeah, you can just get your whole tits out in Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah.
That's just a screenshot. So that's how they're protesting.
That's extremely funny. Good for them. That's a really funny way to just like bend the rules.
Yeah. Next, as we talked about earlier, Red vs. Blue is back for the last time. They've posted a trailer for, is it 19? Season 19? I think so.
Wow.
20 years of...
It's funny that it's been 20 years, but not 20 seasons.
Yeah. Well, they didn't do one every year, and they did like a bunch at once.
Yeah.
They are... Rooster Teeth founder Bernie Burns is returning after leaving in 2020 to do the last season. The voice actors we have confirmed right now are Bernie Burns as Church, Matt Hullum as Sarge, Gus Sorolla and Jeff Ramsey as Simmons and Griff are confirmed back. The only one who is not confirmed back is still Caboose's voice actor, who left after it's unclear, but like creative differences, which can mean anything.
Right.
So it's unclear as to who is going to be voicing Caboose in last season, but
okay,
it'll probably be they aren't gonna not have Caboose in it.
Oh no, of course not. Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't put it in the docket, but like it's funny because the 10th season of RWBY is kind of in danger from what I hear.
Oh, really?
Like it's unclear if they're actually going to get a next season of RWBY.
Wow.
So it's really funny to be like, yeah, but Red vs. Blue is coming back.
Red vs. Blue comes back one last time. That's funny. I always thought RWBY was like their big bread and butter, but I guess people have kind of burned out on like this show that won't end, right?
I mean, I'm sure when you lose Monty Ohm, who was the appeal of RWBY.
Yeah, but he's been gone since like the end of season 2. Like, and there's been 8 he died at the end of season 2, right?
Yeah, but like, I think there was a huge migration after season 2.
Oh, there was for sure, but it's just like even then that show was still really big for a really long time after he died. I
think it's just that like there was a huge migration after he died, and then it's just been kind of bleeding viewers since.
That makes sense.
Like it's just been slow going, but it's finally hit that threshold where they're not sure if it's even worth it to make more.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, Red vs. Blue is coming back, so who cares about that?
Red vs. Blue wins by doing nothing.
Yeah.
For a long time and then coming back.
How do you get anything done if all you do is stand around and argue? We don't. It's part of our charm. Quit fucking it up.
Quit fucking it up. Exactly.
Next, Suicide Squad anime movie from Attack on Titan Studio looks absolutely twisted. What?
Huh?
What?
Huh? What?
It's called Suicide Squad Isekai.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't see that.
So is this a thing where Joker and Harley Quinn are going to a fantasy world? Or is someone from a fantasy world coming to DC Universe?
I don't know.
Who's getting the Isekai?
Who's this for? Like, Attack on Titan fans, I guess. Because Attack on Titan, I feel like the Venn diagram of Attack on Titan fans and people who still care about Suicide Squad is a circle.
I don't know. I don't know what DC is doing in general.
I don't. They're just kind of flailing at this point. Like, everything has gone catastrophically wrong. The Flash was a huge flop. And now they don't know what they're doing anymore. I don't know.
I'm so confused. Like, what direct? Like, despite what you want to say about the MCU, it does have a direction. It's not a very interesting direction,
but it does have a direction.
But they are staying consistent with one specific vision. And they're not really like Spider-Verse is kind of like a little offshoot thing.
Sure.
But everything else is kind of consolidated into this one idea. What the fuck is DC doing making an Isekai Suicide Squad anime?
I don't know. It just feels like flailing.
Which isn't even Suicide Squad because the Joker isn't on the Suicide Squad. What's he doing here?
He's not
in this.
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck is going on anymore. At this point, it just kind of feels like every time I walk into like any conversation about DC, I just feel like that one part in Community where Troy walks in with pizzas and the building's on fire. Yeah. It's just, I feel like I'm that. I just feel like that's me all of the time. Every time I like peek in on the DC like cinematic universe. Like, I suppose I'm happy that DC doesn't know what the fuck they're doing because we got My Adventures with Superman.
Yeah.
But like
what? Hey, James Gunn, is Blue Beetle in your new universe? Maybe.
Okay, why are you being coy about it?
Well, did is the Flash like the retcon point? Like, is it? No, maybe, I don't know. It could be.
It's all dependent on how well the Flash did, and because the Flash bombed, the Flash is not canon to the new DC universe.
DC being like, we're putting all our hopes into Blue Beetle.
It's like, oh no.
Okay. I'm excited for Blue Beetle. It looks great, but
it's like,
it's not.
I feel like if you're saying the words, we're putting all our hopes into Blue Beetle, you are already in defeat, right?
You've already screwed up.
Something has already gone horribly wrong if all of your hopes rest on Blue Beetle. That's all I gotta say.
Finally, speaking of putting all our hopes in something.
Oh no.
The Square Enix, quote, considering remastering more of its long-lost RPGs.
Now,
they're running out.
One of these has to be Chrono Trigger.
They're running out of things for it to not be Chrono Trigger.
They are.
What kind of fucking edging is this?
Like what? Now it will be No, I actually think they should do this because it means that statistically we're more likely to get a Xenogears remaster than we are to get a Chrono Trigger remaster.
Yeah.
And I think Xenogears needs it way more. Like Chrono Trigger, I would love to see get like a proper Live Alive like treatment with the Octopath Traveler graphics and shit like that. But have you considered just putting Xenogears literally anywhere?
I would fucking love to see Xenogears again. But like, the article mentions Final Fantasy Tactics, Xenogears, or Vagrant Story.
Vagrant Story needs it really bad. Actually, Vagrant Story's art style lends itself extremely well to some sort of Live Aliveization, right?
Yeah.
Even though that game is a 3D game instead of like a pixel art based game, like that is a game that is already immaculately beautiful. It is the Final Fantasy 12 of the PS1, right? Like it's a game that is doing black magic to make that game look as good as it does. It is immaculately beautiful and would lend itself very, very well to just doing like minor tilt shift and depth of field effects.
Right.
And then just maybe doing a little bit of baked in light. Not much because again, they were doing wizardry in the days. By simulating lighting instead of actually doing lighting because PS1 couldn't do lighting, right?
Right.
But they literally just like they did like tricks to make it look that way. So I think Vagrant Story should be at the very top of the list, especially considering you can kind of draw a line from Final Fantasy Tactics to Vagrant Story to Final Fantasy 12 to FF16, right? Like those games are all like 16 is not part of Ivalice, right?
Right.
But like tonally, those games are all kind of Heaven's Word is in there too somewhere, right? Tonally, those games are all they have a genealogy there that ends in 16, right? In this kind of experimenting with more grounded politics based Final Fantasies, right? And so like you can literally just draw a line to all of those. And so I think that with FF16's release, Vagrant Story should get some sort of thing to kind of put it back in people's public consciousness because it is so like influential, right?
Right.
Yeah, I would really like to see Vagrant Story get a re-release. I would really like to see Xenogears get a re-release.
Xenogears, Parasite Eve.
Parasite Eve really needs it. That would be a really good candidate. Both of them to do a 2-pack.
Yeah.
You could sell that for $40 and people would buy it if it was both games.
Like, there's just so many.
They have so many that it's a little disgusting, honestly. Like, there are so many candidates for re-release from the PS1 era. And, like, none of them are Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
So they're really not running out of games that aren't Chrono Trigger. They actually have a lot of games that aren't Chrono Trigger between them and Chrono Trigger.
They're running out of Super Nintendo games for it to not be Chrono Trigger.
That's more correct. Yes, I agree.
If they want to branch out to the PS1, they have games for days.
Oh, God, they'll never run out.
they're running out of Super Nintendo games for it to not be Chrono Trigger anymore.
Right.
Like, Mario RPG was it. You're out of options now.
So if you want to remake a Square Enix SNES RPG, you really only got the one answer now, guys.
Yeah.
So please, you can do both. Listen, Square Enix, you've got money. You can just re-release Chrono Trigger and Xenogears in the same year. I'm just saying.
I guess they could do Secret of Evermore.
Oh, they totally could. They totally will. Now that you've spoken it into existence, they're totally going to do Evermore.
I would take a Secrets of Evermore 2D HD remake. That'd be fucking baller.
That'd be sick as shit, is the thing. Nobody would complain about that, which is the funny part.
Yeah. The thing is, they can make no wrong answers.
There are no wrong answers here. They have so many good-ass video games from back in the day to just, like, make available to people for the first time. Like, please, is all I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Also, while you're here, can you like, buy Working Design's old catalog and, like, so somebody can re-release the first 2 Lunar games? I would really appreciate that.
Oh. I was thinking recently that, like, I bought the first 2 Lunar games, and I have not played them yet, and I need to do that.
They're so good. I've actually never played the first one, but I played the second one when it came out on a whim. I actually bought it because I was, like, back when Babbage's was a thing. Do you remember Babbage's?
Yeah.
Yeah, back when Babbage's was a thing. I was in the Babbage's and looking at their PS1 games, and one of them was Lunar, and it had been out for like a year at that point, I think, and it had bombed. So it was on sale for like $20. Like, and it was the full package. It came with the necklace and the map, like the whole beautiful cardboard packaging that had the whole game in it.
Yeah.
And my mom bought it for me just because it was only $20, right?
Right.
And she bought me the really good guide for it. Actually, it was a hard. I still have that guide. It's a leather-bound guide. That's really, really fancy. It has a lot of like art and things in it. That's really nice.
Nice.
She bought me that too. And like, I played the fuck out of Lunar 2. Holy shit, that game is so good. Like, just as a old 90s, like, I guess like PS1. Actually, it came out on the Sega CD, the Sega Saturn. It came out on the Sega Saturn first, not Sega CD. Excuse me. And famously was almost impossible to beat because of like not because of bugs, but because of how hard certain boss fights were. It was almost unbeatable.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then when they put it back up, they put it out on the PS1, they're like, okay, we're actually going to make this game beatable by human beings. So, yeah, like, some of the boss fights in that game are super, super broken. Like, there's no way to, unless you really grind, there's no way to overcome some of those hurdles. It's really interesting, yeah. That's a great game. I would love it if Square Enix would just buy that company's portfolio and re-release all of those too. Or if somebody would, please.
Anyone? Please?
Please? I mean, you can also really easily emulate those games. Because they're just old PS1, like, pixel RPGs. Right? So it's not like you're trying to run like old PS1 models and stuff. It's super, super, I mean, it's beautiful, right? Great game.
Yeah,
Please play the Lunar games. They are so fucking good. Even though I never played the first one, I know it's so fucking good. Shut up.
It's funny how we pronounce it Lunar.
Yeah, I think it's because that's how they say it in the game.
Is it?
Yeah.
Does that game have voice acting?
Yeah, that game has tons of voice acting.
Huh.
Oh my god, yeah, it's spotty quality, but it's got voice acting.
It's a PS1 JRPG.
Yeah, some of it's pretty good, some of it's not. But yeah, no, that game totally has voice acting.
Well, alright then. Yeah, I should
At least in the anime cutscenes. I can't remember if in gameplay it has voice acting.
I
don't think it does. But
give that a shot sometime.
Yeah, that'd be really fun to play.
Yeah.
I still have that game, actually. I still have Lunar 2. I still own that one. Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, that's about it.
Oh, are we done?
Yeah.
Wow, easy one.
It was a short news week. Not a whole lot of stuff happened.
there was the Microsoft FTC thing, but that's still kind of up in the air, which is why it's not here.
That'll be on next week's docket when it's concluded.
Yeah, because just to talk about it a little bit right now, that'll probably be appealed by the FTC. Mm-hmm. Or it's not quite done with yet because the judge in that case, her son works at Microsoft. The judge herself doesn't seem to know anything about video games. The FTC really fucked up that case, though. They did not bring in good lawyers. It's been a huge clusterfuck from the word go. So we're gonna see how this turns out. Mm-hmm. But it's not quite done yet. I don't think we're quite finished yet. We'll see. In a week or two, we'll know kind of what's gonna happen with the Microsoft case. So for now, there's really nothing to say about it other than the first kind of ruling came in, and we're gonna see how that develops.
Yup, it's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
But we seem to be approaching the end of this 3-year-long repeating saga.
One day we'll be free, but no, we won't.
No.
Okay.
But yeah, that's about it. Thank you to Visager for use of background music. You can follow me on Twitter at thegorgepodcast. You can follow Sara at radioinactivity. You can email us at thegorgepodcast@gmail.com. And you can join our Discord, and you can hang out with us and play Final Fantasy XIV with us, and watch movies and stuff. And we watched Fate, Strange Fake as a group on the Discord. So we watch anime together, we watch movies, we play video games. It's a good time. We have we fool around with doing harder content in FF14. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. So come do that, and then also join our Patreon so you get a little cool thing on the Discord.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, that'll do it for us.
What do you got? Do you got anything? Fuck Yuji Naka? You fucking moron?
Nah, he's got what he got.
He got what he deserved. That's true.
I'm gonna just say fuck Disney and fuck HBO and fuck this whole process.
That's so true.
That's
fuck David Zaslav, right?
It's just become this idea of still trying even harder than ever to get the infinite money machine. Mm-hmm. And
just in the process, just totally discarding tons and tons of art, right? Yeah. Just trying to find a way to generate infinite growth while also jettisoning, everything that anybody might want to watch. Yeah.
We're seeing it not just in this, but in games and stuff too, where it's there's a thing recently where it's games now have a 5-year dev cycle.
Yeah. And the thing
Who fucking wants that?
Nobody fucking wants it. And then this also ties back to this idea that I also saw earlier, that 87% of all retro games are not accessible to people.
Yup.
87, this all ties together. Games have a 5-year dev cycle now. Old games are not available because they want you to just keep playing these fucking monster games that nobody wants.
Yeah.
Right? Zelda had an insane dev cycle, but that game, but
it was an anomaly.
It was an anomaly. And nobody wants these games that are super hyper realistic and shit. We just want a game that looks good, that runs at 60 frames a fucking second.
Now,
right?
Now, when I'm done with Tears of the Kingdom, I want the next Zelda to be Wind Waker sized.
Right.
Okay, I'm done with that.
Yeah, I want something different now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just nobody, the thing is that we've hit the plateau. We're always saying it, but I really think it's true these days. We've really hit the plateau on how good games can look. And now it's just I just want a game that has unique art style that runs at 60 frames a second, right? Yeah. That's literally all I want.
Diminishing returns have never hit harder. It's done. It's over.
Yeah, we're here.
You can't, we have reached the point in culture and media where you can't throw money at it to make it look better now. It's done. We're done. Capped out. And
now it's we can make it look better if it runs at 30. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want it to run at 60. I spent $500 on your fucking nightmare machine that takes up half my living room so that the video games will run at 60 frames a second, and now you tell me they won't. Come on, guys.
Did you see they might be putting out a PS5 Slim?
I'm not surprised. They always do that. I ain't buying it. Listen, I had the same PS4 from launch to the day the PS5 came out. Did that fucking system sound like it was going to catch on fire anytime I played anything relatively new? Yes, but I didn't give up on it, and I won't be giving up on my PS5. That thing is all I'm going to have for the next 6 years unless I decide to buy an Xbox so I can play Starfield. Don't worry about it.
Depending on how much the PS5 Slim costs, I might be like, hey, friend, do you want a PS5 for $200?
That's fair. That's actually smart of you.
Yeah.
But like, no, I'm sticking with it. I'm gonna carry this albatross around my neck until the 6 comes out, or until I don't know, civilization collapse, whichever comes first.
We'll see. Hey, friend, do you want a PS5 that is the exact size of your baby?
You could, in fact, put your baby on top of your PS5, and it will be warm and make a nice humming sound, and your baby will sleep while you play your PS5.
Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong. It also doubles as a sound machine for an unhappy baby.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Okay.
That's it. Good night.
That's it. Get us out of here.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.